Micro Four Third is dead. So is Fujifilm, Nikon, Canon, Pentax, Ricoh, Leica, whatever. Photography is dead. So today is a little bit of a rant from me about what I see on social media for the past, I would say best part of 3 to 4 years. It's now people getting very negative towards anything but their own supporting brand. I don't think it's right. You know, you see all this clickbait title on YouTube, on Instagram, on Threads, on Facebook, whatever, right? If you, let's say you're a Sony user, you cuss everybody else. Canon is shit, Fuji is for hipsters only. And if you're a format bias, you know, full frame is everything. Even medium formats can't match the quality coming out from full frame. Micro Four Third is nothing, it's not for professionals and so forth, right? I don't know, it's just a toxic environment, I would say. I don't know why people get to that point, right? We are all photographers. We should be appreciating images, full stop. We should be enjoying photography in general. Just go out and enjoy the process of creating images and just looking at other people's work and appreciating the effort and the creativity side of it. Not about bashing brands and also the camera features and so forth. It's not about the latest and the greatest, right? Hard to believe that this is only 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm out here early, again doing another photo shoot later on for a client of mine from the US. Not so much about landmark today, it's all about pregnancy. We're going to a park, nice park, and we'll just get some nice greenery photographs, and that will be it. I'm looking forward to that. But see, this is what photography is all about, you know, about capturing the moment, the memories. Who really cares, really, you know, what camera I use, what lenses I use? It's nothing about any of that stuff. You know, my client never knew I was using full frame, Micro Four Third or APS-C. In the last 9 months, I have used 3 different formats, 5 different cameras to take my shoots for my clients. None of them, not a single one of them asked me what camera did I use. Oh, your images looks crap because of one format or the other, or one brand over the other. Nothing. They did ask me, oh, what kind of camera you got there? You know, like looking cute, you know, quite small, quite retro looking and things like that. That's all about it. It's about complementing the design of the camera, but nothing about the quality of it, nothing about the feature of it, or whether is this the latest and the greatest camera you got there on your neck. No, nothing about that. Ultimately, all they care about is whether I can capture the nice image for them to remember. So all this hatred, all this clickbait on the internet these days, Micro Four Third is dead. People have been saying this for the past 12 years, 13, 14, 15 years. Ever since almost right at the beginning, right? And then you got this Fujifilm stuff, you know. Oh, Fujifilm is only for hipsters, only for the trendsetters and things like that. It's not about photographers. And then you got, like, you know, the full frame people bashing each other, right? Oh yeah, Canon's not innovative, you know, like Sony's the most innovative camera makers in the world. And you got like Nikon, you know, Nikon talk about the same thing, you know, like, you know, oh, you know, we've got the best wildlife stuff ever, you know, for the people who really taking seriously about wildlife photography. I don't know. What do you think? Okay, right. Looking very good. It's very foggy today. I haven't seen fogs in London for a while. We do have some fog, but like nowhere near to what I remember when I first came to England about 26, 27 years ago. Definitely not. It's good to see some fogs, and I guess, you know, it's quite good for photography actually. If you come in early enough when the light is still very dim, if you've got a little bit of fog behind it, when there's no people around, you can really capture some stunning photograph of London. Whether it's just for the feature itself, or if you have subject doing some portrait, it can be quite mysterious, quite moody. And I really enjoyed that type of photography, that type of style of photography, which is, I would say, very, very hard to achieve these days. Despite everything I just said, of course, we are allowed as a consumer, as a user, to complain about camera makers or camera companies in general. about things that they haven't done for us, right? I have moaned about OM system, I have moaned about Nikon, I have moaned about Fuji and so forth. I have, you know, it's just being honest, right? About things that I would like to see them do. For instance, you know, like for the past year now, I haven't used too many OM system gear to do my professional portrait work for my agency, because I have said that many times. The reason behind it, it's not that I don't want to use OM system gear to do my portrait work. It's only because well, they haven't got enough resolution. My agency now requires at least 25 megapixels to all my photos, which you all know that OM system only had 20 megapixel, which means that it's not sufficient for me to submit my work. And that is the sole reason why I haven't used the OM system gear to do any of my pro jobs. Yes, I could use Limix, that's not a problem. But, you know, I might as well just try out other system at the same time, you know, so I can comment on those camera makers in my channel as well. As you can see, for the past couple of years now, Nikon, Fujifilm, and others. So, you know, it's also a good experience for me as well when it comes to reviewing gear, and I'm not just talking about or raving about OM system gear. I can validate my comments and my criticism about those gear. Speaking of which, I do have a couple of renewed concerns on OM system gear. Not in general, but very specific to my use for portrait work, right? So for portrait, of course, you really want to have the best face and eye detection and human subject recognition. They do have the features, but I would say that it's actually slightly worse than the previous pre-OM system gear, like the EM1 Mark III and the EM1X. Now that I've tried other systems as well, and I can clearly tell that the latest generations of cameras using BSI sensors are actually lagging behind when it comes to portrait stuff. Eye and face detection and also human subject tracking, especially the AI human subject tracking, is not as accurate or reliable as some other system. So that I would like to see OM system improve, put a little bit effort into it. On the other hand, the animal stuff are great. You know, I have no problem tracking birds or three-legged things whatsoever. But this is what they've been concentrating on for the past 5 years now, ever since OM system took over Olympus. You know, this is something that they've been working on very hard to make sure that they satisfy all the wildlife photographers out there. Exactly, because this is what they are aiming for, and not for us, not for me at least, you know, for portrait work. So for me to reuse OM system gear in the future, if they do upgrade the sensor to high resolution, I would like to see them improve the human AI subject recognitions, and that would be awesome for me, and that would make me feel more comfortable using them for my professional jobs. And talk about complaints, I also want to praise Fuji. Right, okay, not so much about their 40 megapixel cameras, but the 26 megapixel cameras are actually fantastic. Right, so far I haven't found any fault with the AF system. In fact, the AF on the 26 megapixel cameras are phenomenal. The 40 megapixel cameras, however, is a little bit, inconsistent. And I found that a lot of the AF are working like kind of adversely worse, basically. I just don't like that. But the 26 megapixel, brilliant. In fact, it's actually more accurate and better than many full frame cameras that boasted their kind of AF performances and things like that. For instance, like the Z9 and Z8 and ZF, which have the similar sort of AF system behind it. But I found that to be a little bit unreliable again. It's very similar to OM system gear, slightly better, but actually worse than a cheaper Fujifilm camera with a 26 megapixel camera. So this is it. This is kind of my, a bit of a rant about today's social media. What do you think about what I said? Do you agree with it? Have you seen a lot of this clickbait, a lot of this hate on the social media, a lot of this brand bashing, format bashing videos? I don't know, you know, like it's just getting to the point. I find it a little bit boring, you know, and I see all these comments, they're not constructive. They're more about criticizing. It's more about hating a product. You know, I just don't find it very constructive for both the users and the camera makers themselves. You know, it's good to have some constructive criticisms and comments about certain things, but not about general hatred. You know, just basically brand loyalty taking over anything. So yeah, I just don't like that. I just don't see, the point of it. You can talk about gear, but at the same time, just remember, we're watching YouTube for entertainment, yet at the same time, we're looking at images, right? If a good photographer out there posting some good photographs, praise them for it. Praise their effort for making that video, showing you their images, taking the time to actually go out for their trip, to see, the world with the cameras and show it to us. This is what I want to praise them for. People like Thomas Heaton, for instance, go out and do a lot of landscape photographs. It's just simply amazing. I love the content that he makes. It's just simply stunning. I think he deserves a lot more attention than a lot of other influencers out there, right? He's a proper photographer. There's so many, internet personalities out there now claiming to be reviewers, but nothing beats a proper photographer in my eyes, because I just want to see nice images. Review is one thing, I don't mind about technical reviews, but at the same time I just want to see how a real photographer using a camera in real life, doing real things and showing us some real images, right? Thank you very much for joining me about this rant today, and well, I'm not asking you for a thumb. If you do like this video, please do, but then I'm not asking for it now, because you may actually put this for my video just because I talk about Michael 430 is dead. But this is what I see, consistently for the past few months. I just don't like it. I don't like all this clickbait. I don't like all of these horrible videos that people make. Just not constructive. Come on, guys, let's do something better. Right, see you all very soon. Enjoy yourself. Bye for now.